February 24th, 2022 Townsend Conservation Commission meeting. The time is 7:18. The meeting is now open under the Wetlands Protection Act and the Townsend Wetland Bylaw. We'll start with roll call. James Gates.
Present.
Joan Savoy.
Joan Savoy present.
Jim LaQueer is absent. Ann LaQueer is absent. And Jennifer Eaton is present. This meeting is being recorded. Is anyone else recording here? Okay. There is one person recording. Oh, I've got the okay. Chair's report. There is one item on my chair's report that is not relevant because it was for Jim and Ann. Just for the record, I'm going to state that the verbiage for requirements in Zoom for commissioners has always been that you had to be visible, but the verbiage is now changed. Your face doesn't have to be visible. So I'd just like to remind everybody to keep order and please be recognized by the chair before speaking. Also, tonight we'll be signing the CR for Campbell Farm, and in the spring, we're going to have to get together and do the BDR walk where we take notes on the baseline development report that's in with that, and we walk and compare what's in the report with what we see. So that will be coming up. Yeah, that's something we do along with Jessica, but we also are going to have to get together and devise a stewardship plan moving forward. So that's something that we can do down the road. Okay. Approve the meeting minutes from February 9th, 2022. Have you guys reviewed the minutes?
Yes, I vote to approve. I vote to approve the meeting minutes from February 9th, 2022.
I second it.
Great job, Matt. I did see
Ron.
I did see one typo at 3.7 minor.
3.7?
Yep.
Okay. Don't support. In favor of approving?
Yes.
James Gates, are you in favor of approving? Yes. Jennifer Eaton is in favor of approving the minutes, so it's unanimous. 1.6, agents report. Jessica. You're muted.
I am indeed. I just got the little warning. Thank you. From February 7th to February 18th, I did 2 building permit sign-offs, 2 Alyssa Drive and 5 Hickory Drive. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I submitted 2 referrals back to the Zoning Board of Appeals for 478 Main Street and 241 Main Street. We had 3 septic sign-offs for 16 Center Street, 106 Barker Hill Road, and 83 Ash Street. Still ongoing draft rewording to the wetlands bylaw and wetlands regulations in our town code. We have now completed 4 site visits to date for conservation owned land. We have the NOI for 63 Adams Road ongoing. The hearing is continued for tonight. We have an RDA for 45 Warren Road tree cutting and felling over power lines. We have been actively reviewing order of conditions and certificates of compliance from the past 3 years to determine which of these orders may still be active or outstanding. We have an intake of a new volunteer response form for Conservation Commission. We have a new NOI for 82 Ball Road ongoing. We did a site visit on February 16th. I did a site visit to check on the status of the 6 Ball Road fire pond. And then after our last meeting, we had the Campbell Farm conservation restriction sent back to the state on February 9th after your final review. And now we are approved for local signatures.
Wonderful. Okay. We have just a minute before we can open our hearing. 2.1. I have 7:25.
Yeah.
That works. Okay. So we have a hearing for a continuation of a notice of intent for DEP 308-0688 TWB 2022-117. The applicant is Catherine Thompson. The location is 63 Adams Road. The project includes replacing a failing sewage system and related grading within 100-foot buffer of a vegetated wetland and intermittent stream. Okay, so okay, Jessica, so what can you tell us about this?
So we had a site visit 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And then we had the hearing opened at the February, what was our last meeting? February 9th meeting. So I believe at that time, we had septic redesign planned to get out of the wetland buffer and just make some updates. So the current leach field will be abandoned and will be replaced in the backyard. So further outside of the resource areas, still within the 100-foot buffers, however. But in terms of the lot layout and size, the proposed locations are the only feasible locations for these new features.
How far inside of the 100-foot buffer is it?
I believe they're, Steve Sears, is that you on? I think I see your number.
Yes, I'm here.
So,
Hi.
yeah, I believe
Hi.
they are about 50 or 60 feet away.
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
one side was 58 feet, and I think the other one was 63 feet.
Okay.
Yes.
Which anything over 50 feet meets Title V. So I would just have to. Unfortunately, we can't meet the 100-foot conservation buffer.
And I believe the Board of Health has signed off on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, permit was issued, and I believe we went over. I kind of described everything on the 9th, and I believe the commission did respond to that in a positive way. And I think we're just waiting for the DEP file number, which we now have.
Yes. Yes. Okay, great.
I motion to approve the application for 63 Adams Road.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Okay, so James Gates, are you in favor?
Yes.
Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
Jennifer Eaton is in favor. So that's unanimous. We approve notice of intent for DEP 308-0688 and TWB 2022-117.
Great.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
obviously, I don't think any work's going to start until the order of conditions comes out. Plus, once that comes out from you folks, we'll make sure that the siltation barrier is in place before any work starts. And I'll contact Jessica so she can make an inspection on that.
Thank you. Yep, I will, Steve, over the next couple of weeks, I will draft the order of conditions and all the permit conditions. And then once we get a
Okay.
majority of the Conservation Commission's signature on that document, I will send it to you with some other details about it being recorded with the Registry of Deeds and a pre-construction inspection, things like that. So yes, we'll be in touch within the next week or two as we can proceed.
Yeah, I think, oh boy, I don't have it in front of me, but the realtor / attorney was going to have that recorded for Kathy. I think her name was, I'm trying to think what it was. Oh boy.
Oh, I spoke to her on the phone one time.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember either, but I remember I did speak with her. Yeah, so just because Kathy is the applicant, we will need to mail Kathy the hard copy of the permit document with the wet signatures on it, but then she can share that with that realtor to get recorded.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Steve. You're free to go. Appreciate it.
Okay, have a good evening, folks.
Thank you. You too.
And and thanks again.
Great. Okay, so 2.2, 7:35, we're early for that. I see Chris McKenzie is on. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Chris, do we have a DEP file number for,
No, I just looked. It's not in yet.
It's not in. I just wanted to check with you. Okay, so we cannot open this hearing at this time. So can I get a motion to continue until we have a DEP file number signed?
Sorry, can I cut in? We can open the hearing. We can just not close it.
Yeah, we can listen to the whole story and just continue it. We can't make any decisions on it.
Oh, okay, great. All right. So we'll open the hearing. Adams Road, that's right. We did do that. We did go through that. Okay. So we'll open the hearing now for DEP 30. Oh, we don't have DEP. So right now it's just, we're calling it TWB 2022-119 open under the Wetlands Protection Act and Townsend Wetland Bylaw.
Does Joan want to read the notice?
We have the legal notice. Yeah.
This is for the 8 o'clock. I don't have the other one. Is it in the folder? I'm sorry. I didn't think we were going there.
It should be in the folder, yeah.
Thanks, Matt. Oh, hey, fabulous, by the way, on the preparation for the materials and
It's all me.
Dropbox you prepared was really nice, Matt. Thanks
No
a lot.
problem.
Agree with that. Just the FYI, our legal notice says hearing at 7:35, so you cannot open it until then, please.
Okay.
Thank you. This is it.
That's it. All right.
Thank you, Jessica, for keeping us along.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thanks. We weren't expecting it. Right, so. Can't do it yet, but just get checked. That's what I'm getting right now. We can't do anything with it, but just at least get it set up.
I have a pulled up.
Give me a better list.
Oh, yeah, it's on the side.
Yeah, so maybe you can,
James, you have it pulled up?
he has it pulled up, so
Can I
how
borrow
about,
your phone?
or he could read it and you could check it out. That's, you can check it out, yeah.
I'm only showing the notice here.
We need the list.
Butters are different. Don't we have to read the notice first?
No, I've got the notice. Did you? No, there's the abutter. We got the.
Yeah, the abutter should be in the folder too, no?
Yep, don't worry, it's here.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Just making sure.
Oh,
I
good.
only have 3 anyways, so it's good. Okay. So 7:35 and the hearing's now open. Officially. The applicant is Jeremiah Kimball, location 82 Ball Road. The project is the construction of a single-family house with a detached barn, private well, driveway, septic system, and related site grading. The construction will take place within the 100-foot buffer of a bordering vegetated wetland.
Good evening, everyone. Chris McKenzie from Dulles, Illinois. Good. If it's all right, I'd like to share my screen. I have a PDF of the plan so everyone can see it.
Okay, just before you do that, Joan's going to read the legal notice before you get started.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Town of Townsend Conservation Commission legal notice pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Townsend Wetlands Bylaw. The Townsend Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Thursday, February 24th, 2022 at approximately 7:35 p.m. The hearing will be held virtually via Zoom meeting and in person at Town Hall on a notice of intent, NOI, filed with the Conservation Commission by Jeremiah Kimball. The property is located at 82 Ball Road, Assessor's Map 36, Parcel 26, Lot 1. The proposed project is the construction of a single-family house with detached barn, private well, driveway, septic system, and related site grading. Several of these features will be installed within a 100-foot buffer of a bordering vegetated wetland. Signed by Jessica Consalvo, Agent Townsend Conservation Commission.
All right.
And we have a list of abutters, and those are all, everything checks. Yep. All right, thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Can you see the screen all right there?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so as was mentioned, this is a vacant piece of property now, 84 Ball Road, 82 Ball Road being located to the south on the plan here. What they're proposing is a single-family house to be located here with a garage, a new septic system located here, reserve area here, a new barn to be constructed here with an access driveway over here, and the access driveway to the garage will be down below here. There's some wetlands on the property. There's actually 3 different flagged areas, an A series, a B series, and a C series. These are almost finger-like, and then eventually they all come together, I believe, in the back part of the property, obviously away from any of the work we're proposing. We show the 35-foot no disturb zone. We also show a 50-foot buffer zone, and the 100-foot buffer zone is located here. So you can see by that 100-foot buffer, there's really not a lot of area available on the lot outside the buffer zone. We have the house at least 50 feet from the wetland, and we show no disturbance in the 35 no disturb zone. There's a erosion control barrier, silt wattles proposed from this southern point here outside the buffer zone and wrapping entirely around the project back out to where it comes out to the road here. The well is going to be located here, which is about 56 feet, sorry, from the wetlands and 24 feet from the road. The septic tank will be located here with a gravity-fed system over to a Presby leach area. And again, the reserve area is over here. That covers most of the project. Is there any questions?
Madam Chair, I have a lot of questions and concerns, but I didn't believe we were going to be discussing this tonight because the NOI number wasn't in, and I'd rather wait until the next, when we continue the hearing, if that's okay, on this end.
Okay.
Jessica, does that seem appropriate to you?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. If you guys wanted to discuss any potential plan requests changes, just obviously minor, nothing, no major layout, of course, but I know yesterday corresponded with Chris a bit to get the square footage of the house and the barn, and then a layout of the whole property, of the proposed improvements on the whole parcel. So maybe, Chris, if you could get that reviewed with the PE review and to us before the next meeting.
Oh, absolutely. As I said, I provided you that information. It's just a matter of the process of getting it on.
Sure, yeah, the PE review, that's fine.
Certainly, though, if there's any concerns, I really would like to address those so that if there are concerns, I could have them addressed for the next meeting.
Well,
go ahead, Joan.
Thank you. I do have a concern in that it's a 4-bedroom house. It's a very large barn. I believe it's at least 60 feet.
42 by 60.
What is it, Jim?
42 by 60.
42 by 60. And nothing except the septic is within is outside of the 100 foot. So that's a little problematic. I know in the past the Conservation Commission has asked people to small projects down if that was the case, or move them outside of the 100 foot entirely. I just have to say, as a looking at some of the past conservation. I'm gonna wait. I'll wait on my second concern because it's more philosophical till the next meeting. But I am concerned about the very, very large size of the barn. And it says on the plan that one of the documents that the neighbor objected to the barn being moved, that it couldn't be moved. But you're the neighbor, are you not? Or Mr. The gentleman who owns the property is the neighbor. So it just.
I would be the neighbor, yes.
Yes, thank you. You're your own neighbor. But it's very large, considering that everything is squeezed into, inside the 100 foot. That's concerning to me.
The placement of the barn, the future owner / residents, that was a preferred location, and as was stated, Mr. Kimball himself would prefer to see the barn as far back on the property as possible. They actually tried to encourage me to push it a little further back, and I explained to them that we were not going to be able to get that inside the 50-foot buffer, and that was the furthest back we could put the barn.
I'd like to see the whole project smalled up. That's a huge barn. That's really big.
I would like to note that the proposed barn actually is a 50-foot. It's 42 foot wide by 50. So that's 10 feet shorter. I'm looking at the drawing specs on it right now on my other monitor. So that's 10 feet right there.
So we were thinking 60, so okay, that helps.
So if we take that off the back end, would that help? Shorten it up, so that'd give you an additional, so that'd be, what is that, about 60 feet from the wetland?
Yeah, that's correct.
I think I'll speak up here. So I'm going to sort of play both sides real quick. So the one side of where all of this layout needs to be is because you are bound by wetlands. So it is near impossible, as Chris was saying, because these are sort of finger wetlands. So obviously at some point they go down to the hand or the palm. The northern portion of the parcel is likely has a lot more wetlands on it. So they can't shift this development north really anywhere else. That probably wouldn't affect the wetlands even more so than it already is. So that's one side of it. However, so now the other side of it is, I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, of course, when we were out on our field visit, we were told that this would be for someone's mother or mother-in-law. So I think having a 4-bedroom house and such a giant barn doesn't quite add up to just being needed to be used by one person.
It would be mother and father-in-law, stepfather, sorry, who's he's a mechanic of sorts. So it's more of his tinkering garage for cars and what have you.
Okay.
Painting oil and stuff.
No, for like storing stuff.
Yeah, storing.
I just, so here's my philosophical conundrum. We have a lot that the only thing that is within the 100-foot properly is the septic system. And then, so the barn and the house are not. And yes,
Madam Liaison.
I just have one question. Does the barn have an apartment in it?
Did you hear that, Chris or Jeremiah? Does the barn have an apartment in it?
No, a single level with a 14-foot high ceiling in it.
In the barn?
Yeah, it says no barn
Has that
fixtures.
been to the planning board yet? Has this been approved by the planning board?
Chris?
Or
The board? I didn't hear what.
Has that been approved by the planning board? Have they seen
the
that?
building inspector?
Or the building inspector?
Not yet, no. We've submitted plans to the Board of Health for Board of Health approval. The building meets all the zoning offsets. There shouldn't be any trouble with the building inspector's office.
Not the, sorry, Chris, I don't mean to cut you off. It's not the offset.
I think I would recommend that you read the accessory apartment bylaw.
Well, there's no apartment. It's just a barn. It's just storage.
Oh, there's no.
No, it's a dry barn. There's no plumbing. There's nothing. There's no one's gonna be living in it.
Right, no plumbing, nothing.
Okay.
But yeah,
The barn is a barn.
Yep,
The apartment
that's it.
is in the house.
no, it's a house.
it's a house. It's a 4-bedroom house.
And the mother-in-law and
Mother-in-law.
are living in the house.
It was brought up, and it shouldn't have been brought up because it's confusing everyone.
Excuse me. Sorry, thank you.
Well, that's what we were told on the sidewalk, James. That's why we're
I know.
bringing it up now.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Okay, thank you. All right, so can I get a motion to continue to our next meeting pending DEP file number?
The only thing I'd like to see is silt fence. I know you have wattle, Chris, but I'd also like to see silt fence because you get so close. I understand stuff does happen. I know the water will help, but the additional silt fence wouldn't be a bad thing. I think of how close it is.
We can add that.
But I motion to continue.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, so James Gates, are you in favor of continuing? And Joan, are you in favor to continue?
I am.
And Jennifer Eaton is in favor of continuing. Okay, great. So get that file number and we'll see you at our next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me get my screen off of your stuff here. How's that?
All right, so Chris, you have a few action items to add into the plan before our next meeting, and then
Yes.
I'll circle back with what time your continued hearing will be.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. 3.1. We have TWB 2022-118, 45 Warren Road. Request for determination of applicability for the removal of dead trees by felling on top of, I think, is that falling on top of wetland? Felling. Okay, we'll open the request under the Wetlands Protection Act and the Townsend Wetland Bylaw. And Jessica, would you tell us what you found? As I've not been to the site.
Sure. Yeah. First of all, Jeremiah, you can leave since your hearing's closed. You don't have to stay on.
Well, it's not closed. It's continued.
Continued. Sorry. Since your part is done.
I thought I clicked out. I thought I was on in the background.
Whoops.
Happens to the best of us. All right. Yes. So there is going to be some tree clearing proposed along Warren Road. It's a really narrow, windy stretch of road. Both sides of road have wetlands on it, like a very big open wetland swamp. The trees, I think, are pretty fragile based on my drive-by visit. It looked like a lot of dead limbs and a lot of pines. And we all know, especially right now with how wet everything is, the structural stability of pines is always questionable. So I believe the town contacted Unitil, and then Unitil contacted the arborist to take some of these trees down. And just given the location, the narrow, windy single lane road and the location of a bunch of power lines, the easiest and sort of most feasible option is to cut the tree whole and have it fall toward the wetland. And then they will drag it out at the ground level from the wetland. So instead of cutting it down in sort of chunks, which would threaten the power lines, they just want to fell it whole. There is a video in that drive of meeting materials that shows the location. And then I see BF's iPad. I'm assuming, Brian, you're on.
That was a great video.
Well, didn't you want some popcorn? So yeah, if Brian's on and wants to discuss the project more, you are welcome to do so. But you are muted, Brian, just FYI.
The video was very helpful.
Unmuted. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, there we go. Hello. No, I think the video should summarize it. I don't know if you guys have a chance to watch it, but if you have any questions, I'm helping. I don't know how to turn this thing back so you can see me versus the conference room table here. But anyways, if you can hear me, it still works. So the video should.
Oops.
Oh, we lost you.
The video really did encapsulate
It did.
the project beautifully.
Brian, I think we lost your internet.
That was my first video.
Jessica, the only question I have is what happens when the tree explodes when it falls?
That's why we hope the wetland freezes back over.
Tell you guys everything you need to know. You're kind of right. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, Brian, I don't know if you heard that question from the commissioners. If these trees are so brittle, when they get felled, what happens if they sort of hit the water or the ice and break apart? What's the proposed cleanup method that way for ice, or if they fall directly into the water?
No, they probably are a valid question. They're probably going to crunch like potato chips. So obviously we want to be at least in.
I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Brian, I don't know if you can hear us, but I think we lost you. But you can try to call in using your cell phone number.
The wetland is possible, so going left and right as opposed to directly into the wetland.
Okay.
I motion to approve this.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did you guys know in the video? Yeah, he said that they might fall them like parallel to the road.
Yeah.
Instead of perpendicular.
Yeah, correct, right. Yeah.
And there is kind of like a hump of upland, non-wetland area, which I think they're going to try to fall from both sides onto that upland and not into the wetland as much as possible.
Correct.
Great.
That's
Thank
correct.
you. Okay, so I have a motion to approve.
Second.
Can I get a second? Okay. James Gates, are you in favor of approving
Yes.
to issue a -3 determination for RDA TWB 2022-118, the removal of trees? And Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
And Jennifer Eaton is in favor. So that is unanimous. Okay, thank you.
If you guys can hear me, fair enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. I'll email you and Jackie with some follow-up items tomorrow.
They were excellent materials you supplied, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, that was excellent. Okay. 3.2, sign THRT, conservation restriction. We're missing someone.
We're missing Lori. Oh,
Great.
okay. Thank you. Oh, 8 o'clock. Yep.
8
Right.
o'clock.
Yep.
We have 5 minutes.
Yep.
Can we do one more thing before 5 minutes? Can we skip down?
What's the review?
Review and approve housing. Want to do that one? Okay, so let's skip down to 3.5, review and approve the housing production plan commissioned by Townsend Housing Authority.
I have reviewed it intimately.
Thanks, John.
I've been in on some of the meetings. You know, the Housing Authority commissioned this from Goldson. They did a wonderful job. There's been many, many edits. It's gone through a very thoughtful process. I think it's very helpful and well written, and the maps are great. The whole thing is great. And we actually just submitted a grant application to MRPC based on some of the items in here that they suggested we some of the action items. And I vote that we approve the latest version of the housing production plan as prepared by Goldson.
What does the plan dictate?
Oh, it was in our box, our shared file.
And that's good for 4 years.
It tells the town, it's basically, because James, you know, we have to produce some affordable housing, and it's our path forward effectively. But it gives the background as to, for instance, we have, believe it or not, we have many, many people, single people and couples living in 3 and 4 bedroom homes in town. So it points out things like that. It points out demographics, it gives us some idea of the income levels, what kind of housing we need. And the state certainly is saying that we need mixed income.
So the reason
workers.
I asked you to explain it more is because our attendees are,
Yes. Affordable, you know, we have so little affordable housing, so it's a path forward for us, and it's a great document, I think.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion to approve.
I second the motion to approve the housing production plan written by J.M. Goldson.
Great. James Gates, are you in favor of approving?
Yes.
Joan Savoy, are you in favor of approving?
Yes.
And Jennifer Eaton is in favor of approving. So that is unanimous. Yes.
On behalf of the Housing Authority, I want to thank you for reviewing it.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, so we have 7:59. Tick tock, tick tock. Right. Okay, it's 8 p.m. Time for 3.2. Signed THRT conservation restriction, Campbell Farm.
So would you like where would you like us to be? And I'll make it all the Board of Selectmen meeting order.
Okay.
So do you want all of us up at the table, including the trustees?
Yeah, let's all just be at the table then. That might just make it easier to establish an order of signing.
The order will be the trustees, Conservation Commission, and then Board of Selectmen. Each page needs to be notarized. And there are 3 copies.
And then selectmen. Yeah, there's from in here. Cap was off, so we did.
All right, so I'd like to call the meeting to order for the Board of Selectmen at 8 p.m. on Thursday, February 24th. Could I have a roll call, please?
Joe Shank present. Chad Sexton Duranian present.
And Veronica Kell present.
Did you say the signing first?
Trustees.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all you do is put your name, address, and here. And I'm asking if everyone is doing this in step 3 F and D, and do you all have valid IDs? And then what you do is
I don't have my ID on.
Oh, Jesus.
Can somebody vouch for my identity?
Did you drive here?
No, I didn't drive.
Thank you for coming, Lori, by the way. Do you want to run home?
I could if it's necessary, but.
Okay. I know. Yes, sir? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Who was signing after?
Conservation Commission.
Okay. If you just pass the book along, put your name and address, and they're putting theirs, and just sign in the last box, and I'll fill in the rest of the spaces.
That's already how to vote to.
Yes.
You did. Right.
We had a vote to approve this last meeting, didn't we?
We haven't voted yet.
You've got plenty of time.
We'll just to make sure when we do it, vote to approve again. Right now, we can just do it.
We just,
If you've already voted, it doesn't matter.
We don't quite remember.
Then hold the vote.
Okay.
Matt, can you check back in the 2-9 meeting minutes to see if they voted to approve, please?
Sure.
Thanks, Matt.
I think we voted to approve the comments, the edits, but I'm not sure if we voted to approve.
Probably be safer.
We haven't seen the final. We didn't remember because then it had to go to EEA and then it came back. So we
did approve the amendments, but
we read the
maybe
final
just
version, but we didn't vote to approve it.
take another vote
Yeah.
just to be certain. Okay.
Yeah, it says we approved the latest comments. I mean, has there been more comments since the 2-9 meeting on it?
Well,
No,
went
that's
back
the
to
final.
EEA for the final version. Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys should vote again tonight, please, on the final.
Now, do I have to read this legal notice?
I don't think it's a hearing, is
It's
it?
not a hearing.
Okay.
What legal notice?
So can I get a motion to approve the Campbell Farm CR
I
for
motion
signatures?
to approve the final CR.
Second.
Okay. James Gates, you vote to approve?
Yes.
And Joan Savoy, you vote to approve?
Yes.
Me, CR, and Jennifer Eaton is in favor. Unanimous.
All right, and for the Board of Select, did you hold your vote?
Yes.
For the
It
board,
was unanimous, yeah, I did.
is there a motion to approve the signing of the Campbell Farm conservation restriction for the town?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes. Jen Sexton Duranian, yes.
And Veronica Kelly, yes. At last.
Can I take a nap now?
So just my signature and then my
Address.
No, you're gonna
print.
print your name, address,
I've never been so eager to sign anything.
and we'll sign over here. Joe's got to sign over here.
All right.
Thanks again, Lauren.
Yes, and
Thank you.
It's really nice you to come out at night.
The only thing I want your help on is a type of document, and then it's, I'm going to be witnessing the type of document, and then what do we do? So I'm thinking if it's going to be a CR, then I'm going to have to write what that means, and then what it's for. So probably the Campbell Farm address or whatever. So I just need to know that, and then I can fill in the rest of it.
okay, let's have Chaz sign. And then do you have the actual document with you?
I have the document that was. Yes, I do have the document right here.
A copy. I just want to know what the official heading is.
Thank you, Matt.
With the conservation restriction.
It was all Jessica. Thank you.
And then it's going to be.
I thought that was Jessica's writing.
We're going to start calling you J-Mom.
The address of the premises is
Yeah.
restriction. 87 North End Road, with the grantor being Townsend Hill Realty of 199 North End Road. So I don't know how you want to do that on here.
I would just have the name of the trust and the address that the conservation restriction is for.
For 187.
Correct.
Okay. So then the document kind or type is conservation restriction?
Correct.
Do you want me to write that, Lori?
Okay. I will just repeat it for all of that. In my book, this is my record.
Okay. Should I say, and that's document type, and then this is address.
It said what's in reference to. So yes, the address, and then that it's for Townsend Hill Realty Trust. The address that it's on.
At 187 North End Road. Or Townsend Hill.
Seeing the document,
Thank you.
Seeing all of the signs.
Okay, so we have to sign the actual document, so don't leave yet.
3 or 4 copies?
Yeah.
Yes, there's 3 copies to sign, and they're all marked.
Okay.
People sit and ask them up.
Laura, should we fill the date in on these signature pages, or should we do that, or will someone else do that?
I will do it.
Okay, thank you.
I will also date it as when I notarize it. I was hoping all the names would be filled in.
They are.
They are. Well, no, they're not at the notary pit. Oh, wait a minute.
I think you just have to.
Probably just the trustees.
Well,
That's the EOS pages, I think, that they send. The ones that have them.
Yeah.
Also. Where at, Lauren?
This is actually the so she's going to do that.
Who sends them back? Jessica will send them back.
We're gonna scan them to Jessica because of inclement weather.
Oh, right.
When the meeting's over.
Yeah, we'll get them right over to
all
her.
these in. So it's okay if I'm there, I'll leave my glasses, can I take my mask off? And then if I'm sitting there,
All right, so is that it? Then for us, then we, that is it for the CR. We're done with that.
Gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of your patience.
I appreciate you guys helping. Thank you.
Take care. Have a good night.
Have a good storm.
Thanks again.
All right, I'm gonna adjourn the Board of Selectmen meeting. All right.
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn at 8:14.
so here's where
All those in favor of adjourning at 8:14?
Thank you. Cal Sexton Duranian, yes.
And Veronica Kell, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, you might want to put that in the record book.
Thank you.
Right, and she has to make sure those go back. Yep, yep. Okay, great. So that's done. That was awesome. Okay. Now we're going to go to 3.3, discuss CONSCOM volunteer response form submitted by Colby Streeter. That's you. Welcome.
Hi. Thanks, Colby. Me too.
Should we have him come up and sit at the table, or you want to come up and sit at the table? Yeah. No, it's not the hot seat. So tell us why you want to be on the CONSCOM.
Okay. Let's see. I guess the answer to that is I have a deep reverence for natural environment. It's been a lifelong, hopefully.
Hopefully animals too.
Evident in my life's work and my choices for my career and education. So, yeah,
Okay.
I
It
want
says
to
that
help our community.
that's awesome. It says that you're an arborist.
I am.
That is so great.
That's awesome.
Yep, I've been an arborist for a long time, over 20 years. Probably longer than that if I think about it hard enough. But yep, so I've pretty good identification skills for species of trees, pretty good knowledge of biology of plants. I can go on. I got a bachelor's degree in forestry from UMass.
Awesome.
So I have pretty good working knowledge of Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 61.
Do you know what we do here? Like what our purpose is?
A bit. Would you like to explain it to me?
So, you know, you live in town, obviously. You know that we get our drinking water from groundwater wells. The wetlands, it's our job to protect the wetlands because where surface water meets groundwater equals our wetlands. They essentially, what's that?
For the headwater.
Headwater. Basically, your wetlands is like the Brita, or we'd be drinking out of puddles. So what we do is we protect those areas that are going, good night, that are going to protect our water and, you know, protect the wetlands and their other functions and habitats and all that good stuff.
Big filtration system.
It is. And what's at stake, our skin in the game, is that we all drink that water.
Yeah.
Well, we're 70% ACEC.
How long have you lived in town?
Let's see. That was for my kids when they were born. Barometer there. 2013.
Right, so
yeah, I guess I can go on. I have experience installing septic systems too.
So you have a general knowledge of.
Good at reading plans. As a technical engineer for several years in the Army too. So I've experienced surveying and reading plans.
Okay, so some of the responsibilities besides the meetings, every second and fourth Wednesdays are usually Wednesday evenings are usually our regular meeting time. We got bumped this week, so it's different. But we usually do site walks. We're doing those Wednesday mornings. We try to keep them all on the same day.
Around 11 or 12 on Wednesdays, if we have any.
So we'll send out an email on Monday.
Yeah.
Plan our schedule.
So
And you're not required to go to every single one.
But that's when we have them. So,
You're answering my questions for me because I wanted to ask about.
yeah, we're not going to sugarcoat it. We're going to get everything out. Okay.
I know, do you work locally?
I do, yes. So for the last couple of years, I've been a stay-at-home dad, and I have my own business. So I have a small tree care business. I do mostly removals and prunings, but it's certainly not a 9-to-5 kind of job.
Yeah, sure. Time commitment is, extreme, but there are things, sidewalks, especially if something you want to check out. And they don't take forever.
Okay.
And then just our meetings. Most recently, our meetings have been an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they've been shorter.
Yes.
So that's usually around.
And then there's classes that are offered that if you're not required, you're suggested to take. Paid for by conservation.
For your MACC certification. And your MACC dues and membership are paid for.
When you sign up, you do it at your own pace. They do certain times of year, you can do a bunch of them. Over like a week. They're usually in the evenings. It's a lot to do all in 1 week.
Yeah, it's killing.
It goes over overview. It's not crazy, but
they're helpful. So, Chris, if you want to go on the the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissioners website, you'll see, for instance, they're having a big conference just first full week in March. But the classes are kind of ongoing. So again, it's not required, but we do appreciate people. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of this stuff will be old hat to you. But it's interesting.
They have a ton of resources too.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. What do we do? Motion to approve the.
It says discuss, but we can. Two more. Yeah. So
we ask that people attend some meetings before we move to accept. To move your application to the BOS so that you're familiar with how we work. So if you could come for 2 more meetings, we'd appreciate that. And then we could take it from there.
So I had to do that, but it wasn't 2, it was 1. But then I had attended a bunch before that because I had an NOI. So I never.
Have you taught any of our meetings?
One that I was required to go to. I have not been to any other meetings.
Would you like to attend our meetings, like pending your approval?
I've been meaning to.
Okay.
And you can do it on Zoom too for the time.
Yeah, you can zoom in, ask questions.
But I'd say, Joan, at least 1.
Yeah, at least. Yes. Right. Yes. But it's lovely to see you in person. So thank you for coming out.
Yeah. May I ask one other question?
You can
of course.
In the future, I intend on getting my timber harvesting license and/or forestry license. Would there be a crossover or
like a conflict of interest?
That's the phrase. Yes. And how would that sort itself out?
So I think when something like that comes up, you have to just fill out a paper that's a disclosure.
Okay.
Once you get to that road, you just fill out a disclosure paper. You can even call the Attorney General. I had to do that.
Well, you can recuse yourself.
Yeah.
You just say,
something comes
I'm harvesting that parcel that's in front of the board. I'm going to recuse myself tonight.
If it's something that's just one, a hearing or something, but if it is something that may affect your entire position on this board, then I think in that case you fill out disclosure.
It's fine because I work in town. I do a part of town, and as long I disclose it.
Yeah, it's similar. It's very similar.
As long as it's public knowledge, you'd be fine. By the one.
So like if I hired you to clear trees on my property, we would both recuse ourselves when they came in front of the board. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
If you could attend in person, great, or Zoom, at least 1 or 2 more meetings, but
I'm more in person. Kind of person. So.
Oh, and I'm assuming you can pull up, you can work a computer because we get all of the electronic documents and we have a drive that Matt and Jessica put them in.
But if you have any other questions,
good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We have to ask.
You can reach out to Jessica and she can send us the questions or anything. It's pretty straightforward. It's small.
Colby, if you have any spare time, assuming with young kids, you don't, but if you have any spare time too, all these meetings are uploaded to YouTube afterwards as well. So if you feel like watching any from the past few months, you're welcome to do that as well before you come to the next meeting. And then, just shoot me an email with any questions as they come up to you, and we're happy to guide you through it.
Sounds riveting.
Yes. And you can come up and say hi to Matt and Jessica too someday if you're in the area.
Yeah.
When they're in on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, typically.
That's June, July. Those were good ones. You should watch those.
June and July.
Oh,
Yeah. He's making a joke.
Okay,
yeah? We'll have to find out.
great. All right, so does anybody have any other questions for Colby?
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have a question. Sorry. I assume you know some about invasive species.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sort of one of our next big moves is sort of public awareness and education. So that would be really good to have someone who knows more than me just Googling about it. So excellent.
All right, great.
Oh,
Would,
okay.
You have me too.
not to,
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
not to make the meeting go
Yeah,
longer. but what's your premise? What's the plan for invasive species?
Get rid of them.
Oh, Jeff?
Educating the community, so they're not using knotweed to adorn on or,
What's bittersweet. There's
Yeah.
yeah,
I hear this thing.
how they can,
Unfortunately, right.
how they can manage it.
Yeah. Well, I think the better goal is to not introduce it more.
Right.
Exactly. Don't encourage it. Cool. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay.
very much. It was
Thank
great
you.
to meet you.
You too. 4J. So let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a bonus, not another J.
Thank you.
Bye. I know when you do the minutes and there's so many J's, JC, JL, JS, JG.
I gotta tell you, I call my kids and my wife C and J names.
Ah,
It was a mistake.
the J's.
Bye.
Great.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, so we have budget overdraft discussion 3.4, budget overdraft discussion with Michael Crowley, land use coordinator. Mike, how are you doing? Good evening.
Hey, how are everybody?
Great.
Hi, Mike.
Hey. Yeah, thanks for just giving me a couple minutes. I just wanted to call out, I've been going through the different budgets and expenses that we have through the land use department. And I was speaking with the town accountant and she called out that the Concom budget for expenses has been overdrawn at this point. There is $950 that was allocated for that budget for this fiscal year. And for the staff trainings that have happened at this point, and other expenses that has already been overdrawn at this stage.
Hang on, Mike. You mean the MACC classes?
I believe that's, yes.
So I had checked all those numbers early on. Maybe we should get with Terry, but we had a sizable, we had about $10,000 in that WPA fund, and that's where the classes are supposed to be coming out of. The budget
Wetlands fund, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is where, for the amount that had gone over, that is where that is being drawn from at this stage. And I think she called that out, that was what that is going to be. But that was just one of the things that when it got submitted directly to the expenses fund as opposed to the wetlands fund.
Oh, so it was misdirected.
Potentially. If you had intended for it to go to the wetlands fund initially, then that was probably what the issue was, is that it was applied to the expenses fund. And that might be just a small administrative thing. But I did talk to her. She's already applying. I think you're only over by like $30 or something smaller, but I know you're also planning some additional trainings for this fiscal year.
Yeah.
That is going to get taken out of the wetlands fund because that has been past precedent what has been done previously. But I just wanted to call it out to you guys, just so you know that, like, oh yeah, well, this is where it is. And I remember, I think it was last meeting, there was an outstanding bill that had been found that you guys covered in this fiscal year that might have been from a previous fiscal year. I don't really remember, but I totally understand how it happens. But I just wanted to make a note of it for you all.
Thank you.
I'll talk to Terry. It's everything, and I always wrote on the thing that it was to come out of the WPA/NOI fund, so they must have just miskeyed it. Well, I'll get with her.
Okay, it could have simply be up. Just as long as it's got that. So I wanted to give that as an update. If you would like, also, I got updated figures on how much is currently in the Conservation Land Fund. I don't know if you guys have had an update for that in a while, but I also see it's already 8:30 at night, and I could come back and talk about it another time if you'd like.
No, just talk about it.
What was that?
Just talk about it.
Sure. So I got an update on the Conservation Land Fund. The Conservation Land Fund hasn't had a contribution to it in the last few years from the fiscal budget, but it has been accruing interest. And at current, there is $64,000 in the Conservation Land Fund.
I believe the BOS has made a motion to put 5 in there out of that budget coming up. So that would be great.
Yeah, I think it's possible that I don't want to, there hasn't been someone in my role. It might have been that they felt it was best practices to not be contributing to it while there was no one there looking at it. But we are keeping track of it now. And so there's a good report out for you guys that somebody's looking at the numbers now and making sure it's getting allocated appropriately. So very simple action item, but I just wanted to throw that out there for your attention.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
Awesome. That is good to know. Well, thank you.
Joan, Terry emailed me this afternoon actually about MACC dues, just to come by and see her next time I'm in. So maybe we can meet Monday morning-ish and go down together.
I spoke to her today too. Yeah, okay. It's just been a lot of miscommunication, I think. We'll be fine.
Well, I think it's confusing, and maybe that's something we can work with Mike on eventually when we have time. Is just we have so many conservation budgets and expenses, and we have so many, and they all just sound the same. So if we could somehow consolidate, and that would just be really great, because I think that's probably where a lot of this confusion is stemming from. But
we're making a big effort in the department of really tracking down all the little details and odds and ends and making sure everything's well accounted for and outlined. But great, that's fantastic. That's all I had, but I agree. Yeah. And if you want, when you come by and talk to Terry, I'm happy to come along too, just to make sure that I'm on the same page as well, because that's important. So.
Great. Awesome. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, so we'll move on to 3.6, mandatory referral notice from the planning board regarding 32 Main Street.
I have a concern about that. And the concern is that is right across the street from the high school. And that means we're going to have high school kids running over there as soon as the bell rings. And that's very concerning to me. Huh?
That's not our jurisdiction.
No, I'm just saying though, it's a referral, that's all. And we're allowed to write that, right?
I don't know if we're supposed to stick within our jurisdictional.
Well, we've made other comments in the past that weren't in our, for instance, we just had one.
I tried to behave with that, and I think we try to stay on that.
Okay, all right, I withdraw my comment. I'm concerned about the outhouse they're gonna build, or the bathrooms. And is it going to be? Are they going to winterize? Or are they going to be putting up? Are there going to be? They do have a construction budget. So has the actual total construction been laid out?
Say that again.
They have a construction budget. Oh no, I take that back. That was the fee they paid. They are going to put in a bathroom. And Jessica, how our wetlands are?
This is only conceptual right now, anyway.
That's what I'm looking at right now. Oh,
thank you.
Sorry.
You want to share it on the screen, Jessica? I know there's
if a bathroom if septic is in our jurisdiction for a bathroom.
Yeah, it is. Because I know I had comments about this.
No.
All right. Can you guys see the mapper? Yes, no, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And where?
All right. Thanks for the thumbs up. Cool. Yeah. So oh my gosh. Address 32. Oh, my mouse keeps freezing. Address 32 is right here. So physical. I do remember. Yeah. Squanicook's right below.
It's on the other side. It's that blue house.
This is Squanicook right here. Yeah, it's very dilapidated blue house. This is the Dunkin' Donuts and Pizza Pizzazz, I think. And then this is the Rainbow Daycare. So it's this one right here. if you drive by, you can tell right away. But anyway, you can see down here, there's wetland, and then this is the Squanicook. And so just to the corner of the parcel, we're about 100. Again, these are just online maps, nothing in person. About 170 feet. And then from the bank of the river, we are less than 300 feet. And because this is a winding, wild scenic river, it gets a 300-foot buffer. So therefore that would be within our jurisdiction. So we are looking at this bottom right corner, southern corner of the property is within our jurisdiction. And based on their proposed site plan, that's going to be parking spaces.
A lot of parking.
Jessica, what about the National Heritage overlay?
Oh, good question. I'm trying to, there we go.
So there are a lot of parking spaces. There's going to be a lot of runoff, and I don't know where the bathroom's going.
The runoff, that you have stormwater management, and that's not even us.
That's right. That's right.
But,
no, that is.
Let's check. What is the whole thing's ACEC also?
Oh, it's most of the town is, but it's the National Heritage aspects.
Yeah, food trucks.
Yep. There you go.
There's other options. The endangered species, all the maps on them.
Priority habitat of rare species. There you go. While we're at it, vernal pools. Natural landscape. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of overlap. Would make sense. It's Squanicook.
It's the yellow one that gives them the yellow hash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you guys go. Okay. So in terms of, priority habitat, obviously there's some sort of, is that the rail trail or is that the power lines?
No, that's the rail bed. That's not going to be
about 100, less than 100 feet away from priority habitat here as well. And again, we're within the wild and scenic river 300-foot buffer too.
So Jessica, since it is jurisdictional, what's our next move, please? Then we need to have a presentation.
Well, I think our mandatory referral right now is just the comment phase because they had a very, what is this called? Their preliminary
this is just
plan or something.
This is a concept meeting.
Yeah, concept. So this is the time to put our concerns for their design. So I know James right off the bat said someone said there's so much parking. I don't know why there needs to be so much parking. So I would also propose cutoff.
Right.
I want to know what they're going to be cutting because that's a slope up there. Are they going to be cutting in, hauling out material, hauling in material? It's a sloped yard.
Yeah.
NOI, James, eh?
Well, I want to see a site plan. Yeah, you got to do an NOI no matter what. But regardless, the comments, they're going to have to go through the motions if they find this viable.
So the comments
there is a cut. I want to know what they're going to do with the topography.
Right. Very good.
It's out. I don't even know if the concept had. The concept plan doesn't have any elevations or anything. And it's also kind of a weird corner, but I just
100 people.
That's coming forward.
So let's go through this. So cut in question mark.
The topography. What's the grade gonna look like?
Okay.
That will be shown on an NOI though.
Right.
But these are our comments for now.
They're only doing concepts right now. Right. They want to see if this is viable, and they're going to have to do some engineering and.
Right.
So grading.
Endangered species are nearby. Where is the?
They're outside of it, so
they're outside.
They don't have to.
Where's the bathroom going?
It's on the plan, but again, and it'd probably be a system that's underneath because it's all sandy soil, so they'll probably put it under the parking lot.
Mm-hmm. And why so many parking?
Can you guys see the site plan on my Computer or still the map? It does say bathhouse right
I
here.
have to get a perk test in that soil.
Can you do an open?
Oh, yeah, but that's BOH's problem.
And then we're still looking at, I'm sorry, Jess, we're still looking at the mass mapper.
They're keeping up every single inch of that lot for parking.
That's a lot of parking.
Like, what's the bylaws say for that much parking? Or,
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that would be a question that we would need to ask the planning board, how much parking is required per person or per structure or whatever. I'm not sure.
They have in a building lot.
It's in the bylaws. It's in the bylaws. It says you have to have, they have to be so big, and you can only have so many in such a place. We went through that when we did the high school.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of controversy about that because they really could have done more spaces for smaller cars, which we now have when. And it wasn't that way when, I'm sorry, I'm speaking.
No.
Lori, you've been doing this for years.
I'm sorry, I think I do. Poor people walk over.
Yeah, I know. She sold me my house. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew somebody else.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
No, it's all.
No, but
Anyway, when the bylaw was adopted, it was when the parking spaces were so big for different parks. I can't actually remember if it was changed for some of them or not, but it happened at the high school. I know again, just trying to expand some parking. It's a situation. So they may have a conceptual plan, but it doesn't fall. I'm sorry, I'm not planning, and I don't know. Who has the plan?
Oh, Nara and Giovanni.
Giovanni.
they're in
Somebody,
Kansas.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they'll find out.
No,
Yeah,
and that's what I
right.
figured.
Right.
If it was-
Stan,
We don't have to worry about
right, if it was Stan or Ross, and it was more rhetorical, but it just seems you're shoving that much parking into an area like that.
They went down already,
Right.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But,
it might become a pay parking lot because the rail trail's right there too. So this will all come out. This will all come out.
Okay. So. Okay.
So you need to reduce the parking.
Submit
That's
any
my
comments at this time?
Well, definitely an NOI has to be filed. It is jurisdictional, and we'd like to see the parking reduced, or at least explained for now.
Okay, so.
I'm going to hold my, it does not need to be that much asphalt in a 1.6 acre.
Right? That's a lot of asphalt.
Okay, so I'm going to write the referral.
What, Jessica? Did I get myself in trouble?
I'm going to write the referral back. So the comments I'm going to have so that you guys make your motion is that it is jurisdictional because it's within 300 feet of a wild and scenic river.
Nothing else. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Keep going. Hungry.
The endangered species habitat is mapped less than 100 feet away. What's going to happen with the grading of the site? Is asphalt parking necessary throughout the whole parcel? Yeah, that's what I have, if that summed everything up.
Just the date that I'm signing. But where she hasn't signed yet, I'm not sure what the effective date will be. So it's just a question that you can get back to me on that.
Yes, absolutely.
That would be helpful.
Jessica, we have to get back to Laurie about an effective date for the document that we just signed.
I know the date I'm signing that everybody signed.
Yep.
But I couldn't figure out the date of the document, and it may be today or it may be when she signs.
EEA will sign and complete the document at their March 8th meeting, I'm told.
So that'll be the effective date, maybe.
Why don't you just let me know after it's done, and I think they'll be effective later.
You can get that to her, Jessica?
Yes, we can do that.
All right, so Jessica will be in touch with that, Lori. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, so do we just want to submit the referral with the comments that they will need to submit?
Jessica read them off.
Sorry.
Yes, Jessica.
Read it again. So it is jurisdictional to us because it's within 300 feet of a wild and scenic river. So an NOI would need to be filed. What's happening with the grading? There's endangered species habitat mapped less than 100 feet away. And then is the asphalt park, is all the asphalt parking necessary, especially in the back of the property?
Okay, great.
So if that works, okay.
Motion to send that to, or pass that along.
Great. I second that.
Okay. James Gates, are you in favor? Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
Jennifer Eaton, yes, is in favor. Okay, great.
Okay.
3.7 NRWA Riparian Buffer Project proposal date.
Yeah. So that I have been in contact with NRWA, the National River Watershed Association. Joan W., bless her heart, she took me out there. We looked at the property from the road, West Meadow Road. We've got the maps. I've submitted, a 2-sentence. Al just asked me, but you've got Lockbrook and Willardbrook there going through the fields. It's on private property. We just said to NRWA, this would be a project, and it's up to them to contact the property owners and decide if they even want to go there. So it's done, and I want to thank Joan W. a lot.
Thanks, Joan W.
Joan Walkowitz, you're great. Thank you, and Al.
All right, great. Thank you for that. All right, so we have review surrounding town buffer zones submitted by Jennifer Pettit.
Madam Chair, can I ask that we move that to the next meeting because it is getting so late, A, and B, the other thing is the page was cut off.
Yeah. A lot of it.
Yes, and I think we also need something more current that is dated 2015. So I would like to, Jessica and Matt will speak with you before the next meeting, and maybe we can also bring up some more current information because that's from 2015.
Okay, so can I get a motion to continue until we receive more current updated information on the surrounding towns buffer zones?
Second.
Okay. James Gates, are you in favor?
Yes.
Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
Jennifer Eaton, yes, in favor. That's unanimous.
It was just so odd that the whole Townsend thing was cut off the page.
Yeah, we can. I'll be happy to do that research and get the surrounding towns buffer zone.
Oh, no. Not well. Our office well. You're good.
Nice. Matt, you want to get on that?
Matt, I just want to say, Matt and Jessica, thank you for taking the time and putting all that stuff together in the folder. And
awesome.
Wonderful.
We are so appreciative and grateful for the work you guys do.
I'm sorry I was cut off. I didn't notice that when I scanned it in. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I can get more updated information for next week for sure.
That's okay.
Great.
We've been having some technical difficulties in the office this week.
Yeah, I haven't had Wi-Fi in the office, so it's just been, kind of a challenge.
We'll move down to, we have nothing in education and conferences. 6.0 items for discussion at next meeting.
Wait, sorry, Mike has his hand raised.
Oh, Mike, yes.
Please.
I just put it up, so good catch right away. I don't know when the appropriate time would be to ask, but I was just curious, has the COMCOM had any discussion about a representative for the Open Space Committee?
No.
I offered to
For Teza, Mike, did you get that email?
I did. Yes, you are on my list. Thank you. As a member at large, as a representative for TESA, and what did you want to be? Well, I'll talk to you again about that more directly. But yes, I did get your email. Thank you for that. But in terms of CONSCOM,
I nominate Colby Streeter.
No, he'll end up getting number one.
Mike, you know, I don't know. I'd love to do it in theory, but I'm up to my eyeballs.
No, you can't do it. It has to be a non-member.
A non-member,
but a resident.
No, it can be a member. It just doesn't have to be a member, but it does have to be a resident. So you can't get, you know, Barack Obama to come in here or someone else from outside of the city or something like that. Or, you know, Shaquille O'Neal can't be our representative on this one.
He actually wanted to do it, so that's too bad.
I saw him in the hall. So, but yeah, it has to be a resident, but it doesn't have to be a member specifically because we are aware of the fact that the boards are very busy. So I think that was outlined originally that it didn't have to be specifically a person who was on the committee, but could be just a representative of the committee. All right, well, I just figured I'd ask to see where we're at. We're trying to have some nominations next week. We're still lining things up. All the committees are trying to figure out who the representatives are, but it's just figured I'd ask where we're at.
All right, we
have a name.
We have someone.
We just got to lock it down. All right. Thanks, Mike.
Take them on the first date first.
Checks in the mail. I understand.
Yeah. So, yeah, we had somebody, but unfortunately she's under the table right now. Items for discussion at next meeting.
On a blank.
For discussion at next meeting. Actually, Jessica, is there anything that you know for sure that we're going to have at our next meeting? Jessica had mentioned that the next meeting the agenda is going to be quite light.
Yay.
We might want to consider doing a Zoom meeting.
I think I must have lied. So next meeting we
might have the NOI number.
I'm like trying to envision the board in the office right now. Yeah, probably the continued hearing for 82 Ball Road.
Right. 82.
We have a new RDA in for 46 Emery Road. Oh, there's something else too. I can't remember.
Rewording the
thank you.
wetland bylaws. Yeah.
Trying to keep myself accountable by putting it on an agenda, and then I keep taking it out, having Matt take it off because I'm not done yet. But I do know that rewarding needs to be done soon. I know, in order to get on the town meeting in May. And I know this buffer conversation is probably good timing to have this. So maybe we can do the buffer conversation next meeting. And then I will have the draft revisions the meeting after, once we nail down what is favorable and feasible for buffers in town.
Yeah,
so,
good.
I'd like to, and maybe you can steer me in the right direction. I feel our salt use in town needs to be managed better, and I don't know which direction to go with that.
Our salt use, like on the roads?
Yes.
Okay.
They're just dumping it. And I don't, these guys are given so little, and they're trying to work with what they have, and I don't know what kind of training they do, but I don't know, something that how we approach it, I guess.
Okay. I think first approach is I can reach out to the highway department to see if they have an approach.
And those guys do a lot for, like I said, I don't want to piss them off. I want to go at this in a pleasant way,
Yeah.
So these are old school guys. I don't want them to think, someone's telling them how to change, reinvent the wheel, but.
Sure. And the super green conservation people. So I mean, maybe that could come in the form of, we contacted them to see if they have any rhyme or reason to how, where, when they're spreading, but then also like if we have certain conservation lands, or I know there's a ton of wetlands like right along the roads, maybe trying to get someone to put up those signs that say like low salt area or something.
But that, I think that there's more to that part, but I guess finding out if they have a standard operating procedure.
Okay.
Or winter storms.
And what about alternative? Why not sand?
No, so sand actually clogs the waterways.
Silt.
So sodium is a better way to do it because it dissolves.
Right.
But you can also look at brine and other materials, but also managing how they put it out using ground speed and other methods, and also plowing differently, pushing the snow past the edge of the road so that, this is like something that could, be a domino effect, because there's a lot of things that if they did it differently, in the long term, it saved the town money, especially with like salt. They spend $200,000 a year on salt. But, we can reduce that, but you're going to have to spend some money in equipment and training.
Right. But it's a great suggestion. Thank you, James.
They work hard. They're old school guys, and I don't want to say they're doing it wrong, but I also don't want to see, enough salt on the road by my house that I can go out and sweep it and put it in my driveway, and I live right on the Squanicook.
Right. So we're looking for state-of-the-art levels of perhaps
an updated standard operating.
Right. Or even just know if they have an operating procedure. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, great. So the next meeting will be Wednesday, March 9th, 2022, 7 p.m., BOS Chambers. This meeting will also be held virtual Zoom remote in accordance with COVID-19 safe meeting guidelines. Yes. All right. 8.0 adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn at 8:56?
Second.
Okay, James Gates, are you in favor?
Yes.
Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
And Jennifer Eaton is in favor. So that is unanimous to adjourn at 8:56.